Hey, Vasquez.
Have you ever been mistaken for a man?
No. Have you?
That one line made Vasquez a legend, and it was delivered by an actress nobody expected. Her name? Jenette Goldstein. Janette played Marine Private Vasquez in James Cameron's 1986 sci-fi hit Aliens. Fun fact number 1. Aliens was her very first movie. Fun fact number 2. Janette's not Hispanic. She's a Jewish actress who went to Beverly Hills High School. She also trained at an elite drama school in London to perform Shakespeare on stage. And yet, somehow she walked straight into one of the most unforgettable debuts in sci-fi history. Like a meteor, she lit up the night sky, and then, poof, she vanished. So, what the heck happened to Jenette Goldstein? Today, we'll explore Janette's explosive rise, the typecasting that kept her boxed in, and the surprising second act she built for herself outside of Hollywood. Jenette Goldstein was born in Los Angeles in 1960. She went to Beverly Hills High School, but her family wasn't rich. While her classmates drove luxury cars, she grew up in what she called the slums of Beverly Hills. Her family lived on the wrong side of the tracks, literally, just close enough where she could attend a good public school. There, she became a drama kid and fell in love with the theater. After high school, she attended Circle in the Square Theater School in New York City, where she dreamed of being on stage. After completing her program, she took a break to hitchhike across Europe. And then, life happened. She met an Englishman, got married, and moved to London. There, she enrolled in a program at the prestigious Webber Douglas Academy of Dramatic Art, developed her craft, auditioned for little plays around town, and ultimately obtained her British Equity card. Equity is the UK trade union for performers and creatives. And more importantly to our story, it allowed Janette to audition for movies. In addition to her drama training, she immersed herself in bodybuilding as a hobby. She grew up as a tomboy and got into weightlifting in high school, but she got serious about it in London. With bodybuilding, the harder you work, the stronger you get. In her words, this was a sharp contrast to acting, which doesn't always reward the hardest workers.
It was great, especially because as an actor, 1 and 1 never equals 2. I mean, you can do everything right, and it just, it doesn't move the needle.
Today, it's common to see women working out at the gym, but back in 1980s London, it was very unusual. As a result, she didn't look like the leading lady of the 80s. She wasn't the tall, willowy type Hollywood kept pushing. Instead, her compact, muscular frame gave her a raw physicality that stood out, and ultimately helped her land her first movie. While she was living there, James Cameron was gearing up to film Aliens at Pinewood Studios just outside of London. That's when Janette saw an advert in the actors' paper, looking for American and Canadian actors who had a British Equity card for a movie called Aliens. That's all it said. She had seen a movie called Alien in 1979, but that was years ago, so this couldn't possibly be a sequel. She thought it might be for a movie about immigration and illegal aliens. She didn't have an agent or anything, but she was intrigued, and she met the requirements, so Janette mailed in her headshot, resume, and phone number. Sometime later, she received a call at her flat asking her to come in. Little did she know, she was about to step into sci-fi history. When she arrived for the audition, she didn't have a script. She was told a little bit about the movie, but that she wasn't auditioning for the Vasquez role. They already had someone in mind for the part of Vasquez. They had identified a female bodybuilder that they were going to train how to act, like a female Arnold Schwarzenegger. But Janette was told that there were a number of other female Marine roles they were looking to fill, and since the Vasquez part had the most lines, they just wanted to hear her read the lines to see if she could play one of the other female Marines. Janette read the lines as a tough Latina Marine, and she nailed it. In addition to sounding like a Marine, she looked like a Marine. Never in their wildest dreams did the casting team think they would find an actress in London who looked like a bodybuilder. Janette ultimately landed the role of Vasquez, and the rest is sci-fi history. Unfortunately, that role came with some future baggage. To fit the part, the studio altered her appearance, changing her eye color and darkening her skin tone. something that would raise eyebrows today. But back in the 80s, character actors played any role regardless of their background. And for Janette, she was just grateful to have a part, and she was all in. She bulked up, trained like a Marine, and pushed her body to the breaking point. When the cameras rolled, she wasn't pretending. She was Vasquez. The payoff was unforgettable. Even in a cast packed with stars like Sigourney Weaver, Michael Biehn, and Bill Paxton, Vasquez stood out. Fans, and even real Marines, instantly believed that her character was a fearless Marine who never backed down. Her performance didn't just win over fans, it earned her the Saturn Award for Best Supporting Actress in 1987. For a debut role in a genre film, that kind of recognition was practically unheard of. With a debut that explosive, you'd think Hollywood would roll out the red carpet. But the reality was far more complicated. After Aliens, Janette was in a strange position. She had just made one of the most iconic debuts in sci-fi history, but out of character, she was almost unrecognizable. Vasquez's cropped hair, darkened skin tone, and tough-as-nails attitude had transformed her so completely that casting directors often didn't even realize she was the same woman. Still, the doors that did open were fascinating. In 1987, she teamed up again with her Aliens co-stars Bill Paxton and Lance Henriksen in Kathryn Bigelow's Near Dark. It was Bigelow's first-time solo directing gig, and the movie was a gritty, vampire western. Unfortunately, it bombed at the box office, but it later became a cult classic. Janette played Diamondback, a menacing, nomadic vampire who drifted across America in a beat-up RV. It was a quieter performance than Vasquez, but just as riveting. Proof she wasn't a one-note tough girl. And then came James Cameron's loyalty. He kept bringing Janette back, almost like a secret weapon in his movies. In his 1991 Terminator 2, she shocked audiences as John Connor's foster mom, Janelle, or rather, the T-1000 impersonating her in that infamous kitchen scene. Be honest, when you saw T2, did you know that was Vasquez? No one did. She's a chameleon. Later, in his 1997 blockbuster Titanic, she broke hearts as the Irish mother tucking her children into bed as the ship went down. A tiny role that audiences never forgot. Again, be honest. Did you know that was Vasquez? To fans, she became Cameron's hidden Easter egg, always showing up in the background, never the star, but always leaving a mark. But while she kept popping up in cult favorites, Hollywood was quietly putting her in a box, and it wasn't one she could break out of easily. For all the praise Janette earned as Vasquez, that role ended up being both a blessing and a curse. Vasquez made her a legend, and chained her to it. Hollywood couldn't see Janette anymore. Only the soldier, only the sidekick, never the woman. That narrow vision left her boxed in. She was too tough for leading lady roles, and too pigeonholed to be considered for anything else. Hollywood's imagination was limited, and so her opportunities dried up. Instead of clinging to scraps, Janette did something bold. She reinvented herself in a way nobody saw coming. Most actors in Janette's position would have kept chasing auditions, hoping for that one big break to reset their careers. But Janette wasn't built like that. She saw the writing on the wall. Hollywood had put her in a box, and the roles she really wanted just weren't coming. So instead of waiting around, she walked away. And her next move shocked everyone. By 2009, she'd reinvented herself completely. Drawing on her own frustrations with poorly fitting bras, she co-founded a lingerie shop called Janette Bras that focused on helping fuller-busted women find comfort and confidence. Their slogan is, "The alphabet starts at D." Quality products, expert service, chic store. Word spread fast. In LA, stylists and actresses quietly passed her shop along like a best-kept secret. But Janette never leaned on her movie fame to sell bras. To her, this wasn't about nostalgia or clout. It was about community, empowerment, and creating something she could control. Something Hollywood had never given her. It was a bold pivot. She wasn't chasing stardom anymore. She was building a new life on her own terms. Today, she has 3 stores in Southern California and 1 in the Atlanta, Georgia area. But just when fans thought she'd left the screen behind for good, Janette found a way to surprise them all over again. Walking away from Hollywood didn't mean walking away from fans. In fact, Janette became even more visible in a different way. While she only took small cameos here and there, she found a new stage at conventions. Sci-fi and horror fans never forgot Vasquez, and they showed up for her. At Comic-Cons and fan expos around the world, Janette became a favorite guest. She was warm, funny, and brutally honest about the behind-the-scenes chaos of movies like Aliens, Near Dark, and Terminator 2. Fans loved her because she wasn't distant or polished like so many stars. She was approachable, almost like catching up with an old friend who just happened to fight xenomorphs once. And while the unpredictable life of an actor didn't give her much stability, her second career did. She built a family, ran a business that helped women every day, and carved out a kind of balance most Hollywood stars never find. Jenette Goldstein's story isn't the usual Hollywood rise and fall. She didn't chase fame, she didn't play the game, and she didn't bend herself into the image the industry demanded. Instead, she gave us one unforgettable performance as Vasquez, a role so powerful it carved her name into sci-fi history forever. And when Hollywood tried to box her in, she walked away with her head high, building a career and a life on her own terms. She showed that strength doesn't always mean being front and center on a movie poster. Sometimes it means knowing when to step back, reinvent yourself, and still leave fans with a legacy that lasts decades. Jenette Goldstein didn't need dozens of roles to become a legend. She only needed one. One line, one smart gun, one grenade, and one fearless performance.